Hello, my name is Fatima and this is Access with Fatima. Rape and gender-based violence has been a forefront issue for Kaduna State. You can see the leadership in action as the governor, His Excellency Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the wife of the governor, Hajia Aisha-Ummi Garba El-Rufai, and all major stakeholders have been working together to ensure that the law protects its citizens, the perpetrators face the law, and justice prevails. Today, we gain access to speak with Her Excellency Hajia Aisha-Ummi Garba El-Rufai regarding her role in the fight against rape and gender-based violence. Thank you, Ma, for having us.
It's a pleasure to have you.
And you look wonderful today.
So do you. Purple is my favorite color.
Thank you. So, the Kaduna State Government just recently passed the bill to amend the Kaduna State Penal Code of Law, the number 5 of 2017, and it recommends total castration for rapists. So to what extent do you think this would curb the cases of rape that we're seeing today?
So let me just emphasize that it's total castration for convicted rapists. That means that this would follow a thorough level of investigation and different levels of checks to ensure that people are not wrongfully accused.
So you have to be guilty.
Exactly. So convicted rapists that have been proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt, there's castration waiting for them. And then for those who rape minors, children, there's a death penalty, and then there's a life sentence for those who... now, this castration, it's not targeting men. We're saying that even women that are found to violate little children, because there are women, it might be a very small percentage, but it's a fair law in the sense that if a woman is convicted of such a crime, it also applies to her.
She should also face the law.
There's something on the level of castration, which is removal of the fallopian tubes that are responsible for sexual urges and desires and things like that. That would be removed in a woman. So it's a well thought out, thorough law that takes care of all the different angles of the rape of crime and the crime of rape. Now, I find it fantastic because the main purpose of punishment is to be a deterrent. Okay, so it serves justice to the person that has been oppressed, violated, and then it serves as a deterrent to other intending and existing perpetrators of such crime.
Yeah, so when they see that.
Exactly. So when they see what is happening to the crimes that they're intending or that they do, then it sends a message that they have to stop. So I believe it's going to help us in curbing, mitigating the sexual crimes, the crimes of rape and other sexual crimes, because the severer the punishment, provided it is executed on the grounds of, sufficient evidence, the severer the punishment and the following execution, the more deterring it is on intending and existing perpetrators. So I'm happy with the law. I'm happy that it's been gazetted by the governor. I'm happy that, very soon we'll begin to see heads rolling, and that will send a direct message to anybody in Kaduna State that the people are highly protected and nobody should dare. Our children, boys and girls, our women, anybody within this space, nobody has the right to touch them because they are highly protected by the law, from the laws existing to the execution to making sure that everybody is safe.
You're an advocate of societal issues, many societal issues, and one of them is rape and gender-based violence.
Yes.
So what methods have you used to sensitize the citizens, the people?
So I'm working with a lot of civil society organizations. I'm working with a lot of NGOs. And we engage in, for some CSOs that I work with in the CASAS, the Kaduna Active Squad Against Sexual and Gender-Based SGBV, the Kaduna Active Squad Against SGBV.
Okay.
We do a weekly sensitization, and then with the Movement Against Rape and Sexual Violence, MASV, it's a monthly sensitization. I'm talking about the physical sensitization of going into villages, into grassroots communities to talk to people. With MASV, we have other things such as webinars and things like that. And then from both groups, we have, some of us go into radio, which has a higher widespread of, it has a wider spread to reach people across our communities. We try to talk to people from the way to prevent rape, about watching the whereabouts of your children, bringing your children closer to you to understand if they're being violated, to ensuring that you don't send your children out to isolated places, to different things, to even parents that suppress cases of rape. We try to talk to them, and we try to do it in such a way that we go to a village or a community, we sit with the people, we try to get them to have ownership of the problem and the solutions. We talk to them, we find out from them what they believe could be the solution to the problem, which is unique to their own community. This way there's a sense of ownership. And they feel like they're stakeholders in the fight. So it's better for us to
bring them in,
to put our efforts together to fight it. And then we develop a relationship with them where they know that if these things occur and it goes beyond what they can handle within the community level, then they can reach out to us, and we know which other authorities and people that are involved that can help in that particular case.
Yeah, which is good. So my next question, but you started talking about it in this answer, which is, as a mother, unfortunately, child rape is a reality. And
absolutely.
As a mother, what message do you have for mothers out there regarding educating, enlightening their children to protect them and to prevent them from child rape perpetrators?
So one of the reasons that I'm happy with the severe laws that have been put in place is actually because I'm a mother. I am trying to, God forbid, but I'm trying to imagine a child of mine being put through that sort of trauma and tragedy. Anybody's child, even for those who, try to criticize the laws that have been put in place. Oh, it's too extreme, it's too this, it's too that. How would they feel if what is being done to these children was done to their own children?
Exactly.
3-month-old babies being raped, being killed, boys, girls, there's no level to it. So as a mother, I feel the pain. As a mother, I'm more infuriated by what is happening. Mothers have to be extremely careful about the whereabouts of your children, the company that they keep. If you're a mother who has a caregiver in the house helps need to be cross-checked constantly. You have to watch what your children are watching on TV, are learning from the internet. What are your children reading? What do they have on their phones? If at all, I'm of the opinion that a child should not have a phone unless they're 18. Because, the kind of things that happen
that go on
from the internet to the apps on phones, child pornography, luring children into child prostitution with these sorts of things. So it's a lot of things. And as a mother, I'm very watchful about what my children bring home. If I know I've not given them even a piece of sweets, where are they getting it from? So as a mother, you have to watch out. Your child cannot be lured into prostitution from little children, 7-year-olds, 11-year-olds. We receive these cases every day. Somebody lures a child into some isolated corner, violates the child. So it's not forceful rape, but it is still rape.
It is still rape.
Because it becomes a serial
because that is a
rape.
Child.
Without consent, it is rape. So it becomes a serial rape where the child is lured. They give them 20 naira, buy chewing gum, buy sweet. Next time, maybe 15 naira. And then as a mother, how can my children bring in things that I know I've not given them? Or the father has not given them? There are mothers that are very weak, their love for their children is so bad that I'm talking about even mothers of perpetrators. Why do you allow a child of yours that you know has done something so huge? Why do you try to shield such a child? Take the child to the authorities, help other children, and then God will help your home. Because if you're shielding such criminals, eventually they will turn on you. One way or the other, your child might not rape you, but your child could kill you because, I mean, for me, the level of insanity
For you to rape.
exactly, and loss of conscience that it takes for you to rape a person, you can actually kill the person. So I mean, trying to shield our children from, and we also have to be very strategic and deliberate in how we raise our children. From the very word go, when they're little, teach them to shun violence of any type.
Yes.
Teach them to understand that they cannot have their way all the time. They cannot violate other people. They cannot do anything to the next person that they know they don't want to be done unto them. Respect other people's bodies just as you respect your own body. Respect other people's properties. If you see that your child from an early age learns to, take people's things and hide them, you work on it.
Yes.
And
because
make sure
they grow up and it becomes a habit,
from a habit it forms their character and personality.
Exactly.
So it's a lot. We have to be deliberate in how we raise our children. These fights that we see every day happening, people killing each other, and then they tell you, oh, there are thugs or there are bandits. These are children of people.
Of course.
Where did they get that from? There's a disconnect from what we've accepted as parents, as a community, as parents, as family, as a community, to what we allow happen everywhere. So it's a lot of work, but then we need to remember that at the end of the day, we're answerable to God for the gift of the children that He has given us. And how we raise them, how we protect them is a very crucial part of how we meet our Maker. And parents need to understand that suppressing children that have been raped is the worst thing they could ever do to their children. We see these things every day. We fight with a lot of parents every day. First of all, we now have the confidence to basically not fight, but go into serious arguments with parents that, look, you don't even have the right to forgive a perpetrator that has raped your child, because now once your child is raped, it's a crime done to your child, but it's the state government that takes up that fight against the perpetrator. So parents do not even have the right to forgive a perpetrator, to settle out of court, or to even from within the home. Fathers go with, my name cannot be tarnished in the society. I cannot be seen that this has been done this has happened in my home. The mother is thinking, oh my God, especially if it's a girl. Now there are more rape cases of boys coming out. If boys are raped, everybody is shouting. But when girls are raped, the mother is saying, she might not get a husband to marry. Either way, the husband would still know that your child has been raped, because the child could tell the husband that because it lives with them for the rest of their life. So it's even best to even protect your children. Speak up and shout, and till your last drop you fight for that child. This helps in make you fulfill your duty as a parent to protect your child. It also sends a message to the community where you see a lot of stigma happening. If the community can see that parents are ready to shield their children because it's not something to be ashamed of, it's actually a crime that must be reported, then it reduces the level of stigma that is meted out to, that is inflicted on survivors of such crimes. So parents, mothers, we have a lot to do, and a lot we have to encourage, and a lot we have to fight for. Sometimes you see husbands threatening mothers to say, if you bring, if you expose this case of rape on our child, it's at the cost of your marriage. So what?
Exactly.
A man who's not ready to fight for your child and protect you and your children, who's ready to let you go for whatever reason, he's not worthy of being a man in your life anyway. So,
and I like the fact that it's now the state government versus the perpetrator.
Absolutely.
Because if it's left to parents, like you said,
a lot of cases would just
die.
Figure out.
Yes.
I'm happy that in Kaduna State there's a law that even says if you pull your child out of school before they complete secondary school, then it's an offense. Okay, we have laws like that. There's a law about obstruction of justice. So this applies to parents as well.
Yes.
If you're trying to obstruct justice being served to your child that has been raped, then you are in trouble. Yes, so we're happy with some of the things happening, but mothers, we have a lot in our hands.
So, like most cases, the rape victims are afraid to speak up. Like, yes, due to shame, fear, stigma, financial insecurity, and so on.
Yes.
So, and now we have this law, which is fantastic. But then, if they're not reported, if you don't report the perpetrator, the law is just there. Yes. There will be nobody to punish. So, what do you think should be put in place to ensure that victims speak up, and then the authorities take up from there?
Okay, so first of all, absolute, and I mean absolute protection of the survivor has to be put in place. From how a reporter reports the case, you have to withhold the identity of the survivor, the address of the survivor, the families of the survivors. Do not report these things. Do not add these things in a report. Put a generic report. An 11-year-old girl has been raped by a 37-year-old man. You know, things like that. Do not go into details and stuff like that. I'll give an example with me. Ummi has been raped by Jibril. Ummi lives. No, we have to protect them. So from reporting the case openly to, say, social media or to the news and things like that. Of course, within the police station where and the courts where service has to be fought for, it's necessary to have all details. But that's where it should be. It should be confidential and only open to those who need it to work. Okay, so that has to be put in place. At all times, we have to be conscious of protecting the identities of, survivors. That is one. Two, we have to encourage people to call numbers that they feel comfortable they can call without being exposed. There should be, lines, phone lines that people can call, and their identities would not be exposed. They should feel safe enough to do that. And in this part, CSOs also have a role to play, because the civil society organizations who are ready to be safe havens for survivors, once they identify them, then they're ready to always look for them to report cases. Either, even if it is within the neighborhood, they know that somebody has been violated or raped, they can call these people to fight for them without their being exposed, because people are ashamed of exposing these things. And then we have to constantly keep working on people's understanding of these things. That's why in our community outreaches we tell people that, look, rape is a crime and it's not your fault, and if it happens, you have to speak up, because you have to it is your right to get justice.
So desensitization doesn't stop.
It works. That also helps, because we tell people that, look, we give them examples. I sometimes give them examples that, if tomorrow I have malaria, it's not my fault that mosquitoes bit me and I have malaria. So how can it be my fault when I'm raped, when I should be the one that everybody needs to support? You don't blame people when they get robbed, that, it was your fault that armed robbers attacked you. We try to support them and encourage them to speak up until they get justice. So that sense of safety needs to be given to survivors. We have to encourage them to speak up and let them know that when they speak up, there's no stigma. We had a case of a rape case where it was the families of the perpetrator that were shaming the girl that was raped. As soon as she comes out of her house, they were booing her and shouting.
The other way
precisely.
Around.
So the community has a huge role to play in this. We have to learn to become our own police. The community policing is very important. Once the community members understand that, we have to shield each other. We keep telling people during our sensitization, do not hide perpetrators, do not shield them, expose them. So we try to encourage them, look, if you get a perpetrator, if you catch a perpetrator, no, don't take laws into your hands. Don't beat him or her. Don't kill them. No jungle justice. But if you have to, just lock them up in a room or a store until you can call the authorities the authorized personnel that can deal with the perpetrator, then you have to do that and try to be each other's keepers and things like that. And if we can come together to support a survivor till we see that justice is served, that also helps for other people to speak up. These are some of the things that would help in reducing the culture of silence within our communities.
All right. Okay. Since you're involved with Mars V and the CASAS SGBV, so what challenges, and you guys go on the field, so what challenges do you face when you go out on the field?
The challenges are many. First of all, our biggest obstacles in this fight are the parents. I'm not trying to disrespect the role of parents in their children's lives, but they are our greatest headache. They suppress their children that have been raped. They try to obstruct justice. They settle out of court. They forgive perpetrators. They hush up, sweep it under the carpet. So, I mean, it's a huge problem. Sometimes inadvertently, parents expose their children to rape. Hawking. Little children are exposed to perpetrators because little children are sent hawking. You see them in the motor parks. You see them going into isolated places. So it's a lot of things. And then the system, the security system, the judicial system. The police, they are our friends in this fight. The police, civil defense, the vigilante, they are the cadres, they are our friends in this fight. And they are always there to support us. But the problem is, there are those within that system that tend to favor perpetrators, not I'm not saying that that's the norm,
not the victim.
But it happens. It happens sometimes when they know perpetrators, or a few of them, I'm sorry to say this, look, bribery is everywhere. A few of them sometimes are bribed, to frustrate cases or to water down or to, make evidence disappear and stuff like that. Now, the judicial system, we have bad lawyers. I'm sorry. We have the fantastic ones that help us fight till somebody is convicted. And then we have the terrible ones that, if for instance, I have raped, then there's a private lawyer whose goal is just to make money. And if I happen to have the kind of money that he wants, then he's ready to collect enough payment to turn black into white and make me win a case. Now that's terrible.
That's terrible.
And then sometimes even the lawyers from the side of the government that should be fighting for
the victims.
Sometimes now the judicial system. I'm sorry, I've been saying this. The government, federal government, state governments, they need to invest more money in the judicial system. So the structures in the judiciary are very weak at the moment. So from investigation to the trial process to everything else, things are very weak and slow. And we keep pushing for special courts so that we cut off delay where you have a long queue of different kinds of cases before a rape case, is treated. So there should be special courts that handle that. We're pushing for, DNA labs, forensics to be done instantly so that you can be able to tell if the suspect or the accused is guilty or not. So many things. Even the preservation of evidence is something. So there's so much that the government has to do to put these structures in place. We get a lot of problems every day because at the end of the day, a conviction has to be made before a perpetrator is, punished. And the process that leads to that, sometimes they tell you, we see a perpetrator, we've gotten evidence on the person, but they tell you that there is insufficient evidence to convict the person because what the law requires as proof is not what you and I would, based on sentiments, accept as proof. So there are such things, and of course, as I've said, there are times that I'm blessed that I'm working with very committed and passionate CSOs and NGOs, but there are some of them also who are only in the field for their own benefits. So they're riding on people's traumas and tragedies to make money for themselves, to get recognition and stuff like that. So there are a lot of challenges that we face. Sometimes the people that I work with, they go to a community to arrest a perpetrator, to get the perpetrator arrested. And the community wants to lynch them. and attack them for coming to get one of their own. Yes, and it's crazy. And sometimes the perpetrators know people within the police force, and they try to wiggle their ways out of.
So they all know each other.
Precisely. So, and then, as I said, trying to shield perpetrators, that happens a lot. Or you see that leaders of a community will form a delegation to come to me. If God forbid my child has been raped, a delegation will come to me to say, please, this is one of our own, he's from this community, forgive and forget. No, so these are all sorts of, sometimes when these guys push in and report cases, then the parents now call after being pressured by the community leaders and then they retrieve, so it's a huge circle of problems, but we still keep pushing because it has to become right for the future of our children and our women.
Exactly. And I'd like to say well done, Ma, for all that you've been doing and all that you're going to do. And congratulations on what Kaduna State has achieved.
We're happy. We're very happy.
Yes. And
God bless the governor and his team.
Amen. Amen. And I hope other states can see and learn from that and pick up from that. And congratulations on your advocacy.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
All right. Do you have any final words that you'd like to
say?
Yes.
Okay, so they're more like general statements and appeals. Okay, please, everyone, we all have a role to play in this fight. Every one of us. From if you have to sensitize the next person in your community about prevention, about how to report a rape case, about what to do. For instance, we tell people as soon as it happens, don't wash your body. Carry the evidence with you on your body to the nearest, sexual assault referral center. So from sensitizing people to helping someone report discreetly what has been done, to shunning mitigating the culture of silence among us, to encourage people to speak up, to shunning stigma and engaging people in understanding that stigmatization is a no-go area and things like that. Everybody has a role to play. So please let's shun stigmatization. Let's end the culture of silence on rape cases, and please let's live in peace with one another. Violence of any type, be it sexual violence, rape, be it intolerance of religious and ethnic differences. These are things that are destroying us and produced by us. We need to stand united and our diversities should bring us together. If you sell akara and I sell pepper, then we should be able to work together, not to become enemies. So we need to tolerate each other. We need to understand and support each other. Only then can we stand united to fight rapists or whatever kind. You do not consider the religion or ethnicity of a rapist, because crime is crime. So unity is important, peace is important. Please shun violence of any type, and then help us end the culture of silence and help us shun stigma. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.